the hell you doing, Brainiacs? Long Island Iced Tea here, ready to talk pro-graps with you. And we are coming off a Survivor Series weekend. A week ago, we saw Team Raw absolutely dominate SmackDown Live, and there is a lot to unpack from that. Is the war finally over? SmackDown versus Raw, is it settled forever in 100 years? We'll debate today, and we'll also talk about everything that resulted from that epic pay-per-view. It is time to talk wrestling, Brainiacs. Tweet it, read it, tout it, shout it, be all about it. At the Brainbusters on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. BrainbusterRadio.com is the place to be with all the cool kids, all your fellow Brainiacs. I'm here with my fellow Brainbusters. Dr. Calzones is on the unos and doses, eating some turkey tortas left over from Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope you enjoyed yours, and if you're not in the United States, we hope you enjoyed another week watching pro wrestling that we're going to talk about. Right now, we have the Sultan of social media. A man called Wired is here, and a man called Wired, everybody on social media is talking about Survivor Series. More specifically, they're talking about how peeing your pants is really a cool thing to do.
Long Island AOPP was trending worldwide on Monday. As far as Survivor Series go, hashtag 6-0. Yes, Xavier Woods 6-0, because we all know the pre-show don't matter, right?
Pre-shows count. Pre-shows count.
I don't know about that. I think it counts. It was a match.
But it was it was a great weekend. Man, 4 days of wrestling. I was there for each and every single one of them. It was great. I can't wait to do it again. Come, what am I going to do? Royal Rumble? I'm going to be doing it in April for WrestleMania. Bring it on.
Well, I didn't get the memo, so I actually shit my pants instead of peeing my pants, but that's mostly because I overate. It's Thanksgiving. We don't have Moose the Mark here. Unfortunately, Moose the Mark is just in a turkey coma. He's not even complaining on the internet today. You know he goes hard on Thanksgiving. Moose the Mark, hopefully he wakes up. And Vinman's on limited dates. So jumping, Jacob J, it's now to you. Did you pee your pants, and what's causing all this?
Well, something happened in my pants, Long Island, but we don't have enough time to get into all that. All that here, it was not a clean sweep. It was not 6-0. It was 6-1. But I think really the headline that everybody took, that everybody's talking about, and what's causing all this is that Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey match. I'm just going to say, I think Charlotte exposed her.
What do you mean exposed Ronda? I didn't see any nip slips or anything in that match.
Yeah, I didn't see any, it's not from my angle.
No, I'm not talking about skin or anything like that. I don't know why that's on your mind, Wired, and not mine. But
you're saying exposed. What do you mean?
She exposed her. She is, I don't even know if she's two-dimensional. She just may be Ronda, just may be one-dimensional. Like I said last week, they want to see a professional wrestler.
If by exposed you mean kick the ever-loving shit out of Ronda Rousey, then that's the truth. That's
Triple J, give me a kendo stick and I'll expose the shit out of anybody. I mean, that's just. I'm not the biggest Ronda Rousey fan in the world, but if you give me a kendo stick, I could expose Ronda Rousey.
You couldn't fight back.
Come on, Triple J.
There was a sneak attack there, Triple J.
It was a sneak attack, and you're right.
Elbowing her in the face, that internal bleeding, putting her in the figure four, all those submission holds, real wrestling holds.
Well, Ronda was putting some wrestling holds on Charlotte. It was the match of the year, I think. But the thing is, it was so intense. Charlotte Flair, she's a Flair. She's an intense competitor, and we've seen her dad do this. She lost her cool and unfortunately got that kendo stick, and the match ended in a disqualification. And I don't think she exposed Ronda Rousey. All I think she did was go out there and have a better match than the last woman standing match, because she had Ronda Rousey, who is just unbelievable in the wrestling ring. And it was just, when you get the two best in the world in their prime at the same time in the ring, that was magic, and that was Survivor Series. Ronda versus Charlotte. The Becky, I think we could all agree, the Becky injury to the broken face, a blessing in disguise for all of us, because we ended up getting Charlotte and Ronda early. Instead of at WrestleMania, it was at Survivor Series, and it totally delivered and lived up to all the hype that it deserved, Wired.
I was almost speechless during most of this.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm almost speechless now. It was an incredible night, and then Charlotte doing what she did. But Long Island, you think it was better than the last woman standing match? I don't know about that one.
Oh my goodness, yes it was. You had broken teeth, you had blood, sweat, submission holds. You didn't have any of the. You didn't need tables or anything. It was just two women in there going at it, using every best move they had in their arsenal, and unfortunately, it wasn't settled. But I mean, for Ronda to know Triple J, you got to give it to Ronda. She knew to get the feet up real high on that high arcing Charlotte moonsault. Ronda Rousey, a student of the game, great professional wrestler.
She did. I got to give her credit on that one. And I want to ask Wired this. Actually, I wanted to ask Moose to Mark this, but he's not here. And Wired, I know you're out there on the internet gimmicks. I wanted to know, was this the planned finish?
Triple J, if it's the finish that happened, it was the planned finish in my eyes.
And if it was, would this have been the planned finish if Becky Lynch was still booked in the match?
Well, Becky Lynch has been on a tear. I don't know if you've been following her on Twitter, but she did mention something that somebody trying to pose as her has been trying to withdraw money from her account and saying, "Woo, give me the money," something like that. So I think Becky, I don't know, but it doesn't matter at this point. I mean, what happened, right? And now Becky's going to have to deal with.
Who's Becky Lynch? Her face is broken. She has nothing to do with any of this. This was Charlotte and Ronda.
I haven't seen so much heat on one person that I saw on Nia Jax on Sunday. I don't know if you guys heard it from where you're living.
Oh, it came through the TV very well.
Yeah. People were not happy with Nia Jax on what she did. Look, Charlotte is on another tear. She beat two women on Tuesday.
Two women after having that match on Sunday.
Why didn't the guy give her the chair, by the way? I don't understand. I've never seen that happen when someone doesn't give them the chair. But regardless, I think Charlotte's on the chair. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out over the next couple of weeks. And remember, co-branded pay-per-views. So we're going to see Charlotte and Ronda in the same building again.
They're going to be in the same dressing room.
Well, I would hope Ronda Rousey isn't even thinking about Charlotte because she does have to face Nia Jax at that show at TLC. I mean, you got it. Ronda needs to focus. Nia Jax is a dangerous competitor. We've seen Ronda get knocked out before, but those are usually by leg kicks. But that Nia Jax right hand, Triple J, I know even you respect it now.
Yes, I definitely have to. She's finally found something that works, and she just needs to spam this over and over again. Another question I want to ask the two of you. It came across very clear on television, Wired. I would assume it was the same whenever you were there, but a big pro-Charlotte crowd at the end of this. Do you think this is people just, bloodthirsty
waking up
for violence, or are they, again, has Charlotte exposed Ronda and people have seen the light?
No. What are you talking about, Triple J? I watched it on TV just like you. That was people waking up. Wired, you were there at the Great Awakening. Super Survivor Series 2018, the Great Awakening, where everybody finally got woke and realized Charlotte Flair's the greatest of all time.
But look, to answer your your question, Triple J, that was directed to me, Long Island. I think the one thing that WWE fans don't like are invaders to their sport, and I think by taking it to Ronda Rousey in the way that she did, in the manner that she did, in the way that she snapped, I think is what the crowd loved. Whether it have been Becky, whether it have been Charlotte, whether it was Natalya. I mean, I think someone doing what they did to Ronda, making her, kind of putting her in her place, saying this isn't the UFC. There are no rules when it comes to just being the ever-loving shit out of somebody.
So this is kind of like, those saloon doors swing open. You got somebody from another town across the tracks coming into your bar, and your sheriff saying, "Get the hell out of here." Is that what this is?
What are you talking about?
I don't think it was to get the hell out of here. It wasn't to get the hell out of here, Triple J. It was, if you're going to be here, this is what's going to happen to you, so be ready. I think that's what it was.
That makes more sense, Wired. Yeah, because Ronda is a pro wrestler. She's a competitor. She's in WWE to be in WWE. She's not here to take over or be, prove that MMA or anything versus pro wrestling. She's a pro wrestler now. She went in there. She pro wrestled Charlotte better than I've ever seen anyone pro wrestle Charlotte ever.
Debatable.
But Charlotte lost her cool, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get the rematch at WrestleMania main event, the last match. I mean, with the big dog, unfortunately, out this year, Triple J, there's an open slot in the main event for WrestleMania, and I think that match should be the main event of WrestleMania. I'm already booking it. WrestleMania 35, Charlotte, Ronda 2.
Well, what about Becky? Where does she fall into?
What about Becky? She's got a broken face. She's got a broken face. Also, when we get to headlines, we will talk about Becky because she might have an interesting matchup maybe that could be made down the line. But we'll get to that, Triple J. Man, I'm so excited. I kind of peed my pants just there, which, as we all know, is the cool thing to do. Pee in your pants, the tag champs pee their pants. So it's all right to do that now, Wyatt, right? Is everyone? What's the hashtag on pee in your pants right now?
Like I said earlier, AOPP was pretty good. I think the scenes between the glorious Gable and the man who peed his pants. I think those were great.
Drake Maverick.
Peeing your pants is cool.
DM the G.
Consider me Miles Davis.
Oh, that was the grossest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well,
Let's go.
I want to say this. I peed my pants, and then I also hid my face, and I was very sad and somber for about, 10 very agonizing minutes while Brock Lesnar was murdering Daniel Bryan. Somehow Daniel Bryan, with one kick to the head, was able to get back into that fight and make it a fight. He lost the match, but did Daniel Bryan actually win at Super Survivor Series, Triple J?
I don't know. This Daniel Bryan, he must be hearing voices in his head now also, because he gave that, I will say, a very confusing, but a very, very confident and very well-performed promo on SmackDown Live this week. So, yeah, Daniel Bryan is saying, he really won, in the long run.
So then, would that mean that SmackDown really lost 6 or 5-2 at Super Survivor Series?
They were swept 6-0.
Oh, really? Triple J.
Yes, that's what we were hearing all night. I know you weren't there to hear the commentators, Wired.
Oh, but the signs were prevalent throughout the building of 6-0, 6-0, 6-0.
Moose the Mark was on Reddit, and he was claiming that Daniel Bryan really won because he fought so hard in that match. So give SmackDown that win and the New Day win, and they had 2 wins at Super Survivor Series. Wired, what do you think about Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar? Did Daniel Bryan really win even though he didn't beat Brock 1, 2, 3?
According to Daniel Bryan, he did, but from the angle I saw, Daniel Bryan was getting his ass beat pretty mightily, and then, if not for an unfortunate yet stupid positioning by Kyoto, I believe, who the referee was in that match, he probably would still be laying in the ground inside of Staples Center somewhere in that building. But
he was thrown right on top of his reconstructed neck. Wired. I thought he was dead.
Yeah, no, it was amazing to see what Daniel Bryan was actually able to accomplish. Did he win? No. Did he lose as bad as he could have? I'm going to say no to that as well. I think Daniel Bryan accomplished as best as what he could have accomplished in that match.
I'm coming for you, did you see Brock Lesnar tap out, Triple J? I thought I did.
No, I did not see him tap out. It was very close at times. He was in that, I don't know if we're still calling it the yes lock or if we're going to call it the no lock or revert to the LaBelle lock. But I think the thing that people need to understand about this Daniel Bryan, for him, the end justifies the means. So you may not like the way he's doing things. You may not enjoy the way that he is talking to you or talking to the audience, but again, in his mind, it all makes sense.
Was anybody fortunate enough to have the best seat in the house and watch Super Survivor Series next to Vinman? Anybody?
No, Vinman, I think, watched it on delay, thinking it was live on Thanksgiving, and I didn't go to his house for Thanksgiving. Yeah,
because I had to imagine that he was he was sweating it out a little bit because I think that match was a lot closer than anybody.
He probably went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows just like that.
Look, Daniel Bryan accomplished a lot that match. He didn't win. He didn't accomplish the ultimate feat, which is winning the match. I don't think he won it in any other way. But I will say that
in his mind, he won it, I think.
I guess when I was growing up, that's all that mattered. As long as I felt like a winner.
Well, Daniel Bryan doesn't get a trophy for that. Maybe someone gave him a juice box and patted him on the back and said, good job. But he did lose the match. Chalk it up to another victory for Raw, who went, 6-1 at Super Survivor Series. So that leaves the last question I wanted to ask you, Triple J. Is it officially over? Raw better than SmackDown forever? Can SmackDown ever recover? Should they cancel the show?
Should they cancel Survivor Series indefinitely?
And SmackDown. Should they take SmackDown off the air?
You think they're going to call Mr. Fox and say, no, thank you. We're going to decline those billions of dollars you're offering us.
I think Fox might call. I mean, if I'm a Fox executive, I'm calling up right now.
They're going to lowball them now.
And I'm saying, give me Monday Night Raw. I want Raw.
There's 2 billion reasons why SmackDown Live will not go off the air.
Well, I think there's 2 reasons why SmackDown won't go off the air, Wired. And she may have not general managed them to victory, but Paige is doing a fine job, I think. And
oh yeah, she gained an extra $100,000 for the SmackDown brand just on Tuesday. Remember,
she fined Charlotte Flair. She's still finding ways to make the brand money. I don't put that on Paige. I put it more on Shane McMahon, who was more focused on jumping through the air onto people, and for some reason doing everything the Miz tells him to do. I mean, he's in matches against random jobbers now, and they're winless as a tag team. I don't know what's going on there, but SmackDown Live, whenever you got Rey Mysterio getting unmasked on SmackDown, that means that's big money. So Fox did right by picking SmackDown, even though they only won 1 match at Super Survivor Series.
But I got to say, why does SmackDown, they almost just seem content with getting swept? Like, there was no war cry on Tuesday or, no rallying the troops saying, we're going to get them next year or anything. They're just kind of taking the beating. And
there's no team mentality on SmackDown Live. It's a bunch of psychopaths. You got Daniel Bryan killing the Yes Movement and years of building up kids' dreams to follow him, and now he's just killing that movement. You got Randy Orton ripping people's masks off, burning houses down. I mean, there are awful human beings on SmackDown Live. I'm surprised they're able to even get through a show. That's another credit to Paige, that the show's able to go on and get through an entire show for 2 hours and end. Paige is great at her job.
And we talked about it last week, right? You think Robert Nutting, the owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates, is all sad and bummed out because his team lost? SmackDown did not put its best team forward, and I think they expected this type of result.
Paige.
Paige's wallet. You think SmackDown lost on purpose, like the Pirates, is what you're saying?
I'm not saying they lost on purpose. That would just be, throwing the game. But I don't think they put their best team out there. I mean, Randy Orton wasn't even out there. I mean, come on. AJ Styles was not involved in the main event, and they didn't insert him into the tag team.
No, but Samoa Joe lost in 20 seconds or something.
Well, but that was Raw's. I mean, I don't think Samoa Joe threw it on, through that match.
No, I don't
even Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe was attacked by a monster, the best body in the world, Bobby Lashley. Drew McIntyre, all at the same time. I mean, even Samoa Joe.
Raw imploded. Raw attacked themselves, and they
still won.
Could not win the match.
Easily.
That's what I'm telling you. Yes, that's like a team. That's like the Phillies having 10 errors and the Pirates still winning losing the game. I mean, that's exactly what happened.
Baseball analogies aside, before people get confused, Wired, I want to say, if I'm Mr. Fox, I'm calling WWE and asking one more time if I could have Raw instead, because it is the superior brand, 6-1. But if I'm Mr. Fox, I'm saying, give me Raw, but can I also have the New Day? Because they are good. The New Day weren't even supposed to win, and they won anyway. Credit to them. Before we get to headlines this week, Triple J, how many times have you peed yourself this show?
This show, none. But, I have the bottle here just in case.
Long Island, I want it to be clear, though. It is cool to pee your pants. It is not okay to poop your pants, which I know you're accustomed to.
Yeah, well, I shat myself because I couldn't believe what I was watching at Super Survivor Series. I shat myself when I saw Rey Mysterio's hideous face on SmackDown Live. And I think I'm going to shit myself just by smelling these turkey torta farts from the doctor in here in the Marburger studio. Woo! Oh,
Who
man.
were you more
Doctor.
surprised about whenever you were able to glimpse their face? Kane or Rey Mysterio?
Oh, Rey Mysterio. I instantly leaky shits. Oh, hideous.
I'm actually convinced that luchadors wrestle with masks because they're ugly.
I am. I'm convinced Enzo Amore got kicked out of the Staples Center on purpose so he wouldn't have to see Rey Mysterio's face. Triple J, are you ready for some all the news and headlines of the week?
Let's start it. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it with you gentlemen, but if we could do a lightning round, that would be just lovely for all.
What do you got to do? You got to take a pee? Just pee your pants! Just sit there and pee your pants. It's the cool thing to do. While Triple J pees himself, Brainiacs, let's get to this week's Brainbuster Radio headlines. This week on Brainbuster Radio headlines, a classic pay-per-view returns. The big dog is still roaming the yard. And Becky Lynch is teaming up with who? Brainbuster Radio headlines this week, Brainiacs, brought to you by Marburger Adult Diapers. Marburger Adult Diapers. So comfortable, so clean, no smell whatsoever. Piss and shit yourself till the cows come home. Marburger Adult Diapers. I'm wearing mine right now, Wired. I bought some right after Super Survivor Series. Unfortunately, Duluth underwear don't really absorb well, so I went out to see my local Marburger aid, and I bought myself some adult diapers, and I'm feeling great this week. Pissing and shitting all day long. Don't ever have to go to the bathroom again.
But you're not actually peeing your pants then. That's not what the cool kids are doing.
I peed my pants while wearing diapers.
Man, I feel jealous I'm not on that couch with you.
The big dog was seen at the Georgia Tech-Georgia game in college football showdown, rivalry game. The big dog, obviously a Georgia Tech alum, was at the game. He looked all right. He looked, maybe he's going through some treatment, but he was healthy enough to stand there, cut a short promo that was on social media. Did you catch it, Wired? I'm sure you did. You're the Sultan.
Sure, but can you refresh? You're such a better elaborator than I am.
Well, Roman Reigns was there, and he said there's only one big dog here. Screw the Bulldogs, go Georgia Tech, and then that was the 5-second promo we cut. Yeah.
No, it was great to see the big dog. He's a Georgia Tech boy through and through. It's good to see. He looked like he was in good spirits. He was out there on another place where he used to dominate. Little glimpses of this would be great to see through this entire recovery. I hope the big dog stays in the limelight some way.
Absolutely, the big dog. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs did beat the big dog's team pretty badly, but good to see the big dog. Of course, all the best wishes to the big dog to return, hopefully in time for WrestleMania, but we'll see. He's got a long fight ahead of him. According to all accounts, but he's the big dog. I wouldn't be surprised if he won the goddamn Royal Rumble. Starrcade was Saturday night in Cincinnati. The return of Starrcade, Triple J, will not feature Ric Flair versus Steamboat, but Ric Flair will be there, or was there. It did air as of this live on tape edition of BBR. The WWE Network Sunday night will be airing an hour of the Starrcade event, which will feature Ric Flair walking with Elias. Also, Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles in a cage match, and a huge Raw 8-woman tag team match. Triple J, will you be watching, and what do you think Flair and Elias are going to get into?
I don't know if I'm going to be watching. I feel a little I feel a little turned off by this. I mean, they gave us a whole 4 days to let us know that this was going to happen with no build up, and now they expect us to care about.
Why wouldn't you? It's Starrcade. Why wouldn't you care?
Well, yeah, if it was Starrcade, we should have been hearing about it for the past quarter of a year.
They gave us more notice on Starrcade than they did for Ronda Charlotte. It turned out just great.
Tell exactly, Wired. The Sultan has spoken. That was well said. I might could just end the show there.
What Ric Flair and Elias are going to be doing. Where is this? Cincinnati, you said? I don't know what they're going to be doing. I'd like to see. I don't think the Nature Boy. I don't think he plays any instruments. I've heard he has a big organ, but I don't think he plays any instruments. So I really don't know. Maybe I'll have to tune in for that.
Exactly. I'm hoping they break out into an acapella or a acoustic version of maybe some I don't know, maybe Metallica's One. I'd like to hear Ric Flair sing that and Elias get down on the guitar. Huge Raw 8-woman tag, and then grudge cage match, Joe versus Styles. I'll be watching. You know what I think this is though, Triple J? A preview of what WWE Network has been teasing with some of their little surveys they send out to subscribers about house shows being televised for upper tier subscribers. Maybe this is a glimpse into what that will be. Wired, have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, that's why I haven't heard much about it, Long Island, but I did speculate myself. I feel like the WWE Network is testing the waters, so to say. They're going to test to see if they can, how much interest there will be in house shows, or especially branded house shows like this. I mean, we all know that mostly house shows in terms of storyline, I would say 99% of the time don't really matter. But if people are interested in seeing these types of one-off matches, I mean, I remember a couple years ago when I went to a live event, Chris Jericho was on the circuit and he wasn't even on television. He was fighting in cage matches against Kevin Owens every night. Yeah. So
remember that year Jericho just exclusively fought on house shows. I mean, this is the kind of cool shit you can see. Yeah. So if you could go ahead, Triple J.
I was going to say, now that is cool, seeing, for example, Jericho only working house shows, but could this be detrimental that, they would start putting hard time limits on matches, or you wouldn't get to see some of the personality of some of the individuals? Like I used to see CM Punk sing at the end of matches.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out watching Starrcade, Triple J. We'll see if they do all the silly stuff that you'll see at a house show, or less, because on TV, you're right, it's more constricted, and at house shows is where you could see people maybe get a little bit looser. You're right.
And you know what? If I could see Sin Cara versus Andrade Cien Almas every single night on live television on the WWE Network,
I wouldn't mind.
Right? That'd be something I see on SmackDown, but I would.
Who knows? Maybe at these shows, the one-off, they could hire maybe independent wrestlers to work one night on a house show exclusively on the network. Things like that. Specials. We shall find out. Starrcade, it seems like a toe dip into that. Another big show coming up on the network. They're giving us more and more. I mean, we're getting closer to where I will have the network on the live stream, the linear version, Wired, 24/7. I almost do now. I'm at about 15 hours. But NXT UK Takeover in Blackpool on January 12th. Are you kidding me? The UK's getting their own takeover.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you have actually seen any of the episodes of NXT UK. It's actually been quite entertaining.
Holy shit, it's so good. I'm only 2 episodes behind. I'll admit it. It's a lot to take in. It's in the middle of the day, and I've got a lot of, World of Sport English wrestling I'm watching. I'm watching WXW now, but I'm almost caught up.
Yeah, and Triple J, you got to catch this finals of the NXT UK Women's Championship match between Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley. I think it's happening either this week or next week. I can't exactly remember, but
that's a big matchup.
I will send you replacements in the mail if you need me to, because I know that's going to be a big match. There's a lot of great things happening on the network, and you're right. What do they call it? NXT TakeOver Blackpool. I think that's just a very cool name for NXT TakeOver. And this is going to be 2 weeks before the Royal Rumble, so if you catch that live, you might see some of those participants.
And who knows, maybe come next Super Survivor Series or next War Games with NXT UK having their own takeovers and being as big as they're getting, maybe we'll see them that will be like a Raw SmackDown situation with the UK versus NXT America.
What if they did War Games? It was TakeOver UK or NXT UK versus NXT USA.
Oh my God, that'd be the shit. That'd be so good. NXT War Games Revolutionary 2.
Yes, everybody will. You know how? Yeah, Triple J, you love how everybody dresses up for War Games. What if the NXT UK USA guys all dressed like revolutionaries, and then you had red coats,
colonists versus red coats, NXT Revolution,
skin hats, and
NXT Revolutionary War Games. That's gonna be great.
I don't know. Maybe too soon on that one.
And real quick, Here you go. Some real quick rapid fire news here. Triple J. Big Show has told TMZ he has a couple years left in him in the wrestling ring. A couple years left of the Big Show. Who do you want to see him face the most?
Who do I want to see him? I want to see more. I guess more with him and Braun Strowman. I guess. I think that was always good stuff. Yes.
Oh, I'm hoping for the Big Show and the Bar to be in War Games somehow. I want to see the Big Show in War Games. I want to see the Big Show invade NXT. I want to see the Big Show versus Lars Sullivan. I want to see the Big Show versus Keith Lee. A lot of great matchups left for the Big Show. Well, Wired, you got any social media stuff on the Big Show? What are people talking about with him being with the Bar? Are they enjoying him being a manager?
They are, but I think the trend right now with the Big Show, ever since that news came out that he's going to wrestle a couple more years, is over under 69 turns in that span of time.
Way over.
No, I said this is his last turn. He's done.
No, I don't know.
I believe it this time.
I think he's going to turn on the Bar. He didn't really help them win that match. If he would have pissed himself, they might have won the match, and that's a lot of pee coming out of the Big Show.
And they lost the thanks. What do they call it? The smash. No, what do they call it this week? The Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving fight food. I don't
turkey
remember.
trot.
The Cesaro getting pies thrown at him.
Feast fight. It was a feast fight. Thanksgiving feast fight.
Wired social media sultan. I know you saw this. Did you see Becky Lynch interacting with a certain MMA fighter who's also a purveyor of delicious Irish whiskey? Did you see this on Twitter?
I did. It almost started as someone trying to start beef with them, but they ended up being friends. Becky Lynch calling her Irish backup in the notorious Conor McGregor. You know what? If you're going to have a friend in your corner, why not have a friend who throws barricades through buses?
Yeah, so someone on Twitter said, Becky Lynch is channeling her inner Conor McGregor. Triple J, you know who Conor McGregor is?
Becky and who?
Conor McGregor. He's a very famous guy who makes.
He's
Irish
the guy
whiskey.
that does. Here, I got this. He doesn't walk like Vince McMahon when he gets into the cage. I'm sure you've seen that.
Did he used to play for the Colts?
No, Triple J. He makes Irish whiskey. He makes the second most famous whiskey next to Jameson. It's called Proper 12. You've heard of that, right?
No, I don't think any of the clubs around here have anything called Proper 12.
Well, someone said that Becky was channeling her inner Conor McGregor, and the man responded by saying, "The man channels no one." The notorious MMA, that's Conor's Twitter handle, and me are bonded as Irish brother and sister, but if I ever got within 2 miles of him, I'd break that bond and his arm in 3 short seconds. It'd be too tempting. He'd completely understand, too. Proper 12 after. And then Conor said, "Call me when you need proper backup." And then the man said, "Cheers, Conor. I'm carrying 2 divisions at the moment, but you know exactly how that is. I hear New York is nice in the spring, though." And then, I don't know. Can we see it? Becky and Conor tag teaming up at WrestleMania, Wired?
You could. Who would they face? I don't know who would be dare enough to step into that ring to face Becky and Conor. I mean,
Mike and Maria Kanellis.
You know what? I would pay to see that. I definitely would.
Although my money would be on Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. But I'm hoping. That would be great. Triple J, did you catch any of that? You understand what we're talking about here? That's a pretty big match it would be.
Think of the Ronda Rousey in male form. Triple J, we lost him.
He got confused and peed his pants. But you don't have to, Triple J, you don't have to leave the room if you pee your pants. You could just hang out. That's what we do. Whatever, Wired.
He hates sports.
I mean, the show's almost over. TJP playing hoops with Manny Pacquiao. Did you see that? That was really cool.
I did not see that, but that's actually kind of cool.
That's on the new WWE.com. No word on if Freddie Roach will be managing TJP on 205 Live pretty soon. That would be pretty cool. And last thing is last week.
Manager right now.
What's up?
He's got the best manager right now, anyway. So it's all
who
good.
TJP?
Wouldn't you want Maria Kanellis in your corner?
Yeah, I don't know. She's always trying to hog the spotlight from people she manages, though. I don't think this is going to work. I think it's going to end up with TJP getting beat up by Mike for some reason. But I'm watching 205 Live. David Arquette, last thing we'll hear, almost died last week in a death match against Nick Gage at Joey Janela's LA Confidential. I know you weren't there, Wired, but I hope you saw this on social media, and I hope you didn't barf because it was pretty gruesome. Carotid artery in the neck, David Arquette sliced open by one of those fluorescent light bulbs, but finished the match. Kudos to him. And he sent out a word on social media saying, this is not the kind of match I expected to be in. I apologize if I offended any people who've worked so hard in professional wrestling. Something to that effect. But doesn't look like David Arquette will be in the ring much more after spending the last, year kind of running the indie scene or making a name for himself, doing pretty well. But this kind of might have put the kibosh on that. Looks like he's going back to movies, Wired.
I mean, has he even done that recently? I don't even know. Alex Smith did his best to try to one-up David Arquette last weekend, but I don't think that happened. I haven't watched either one of those two things, and I don't think I'm going to ever.
Gross, yeah. Brainiacs, if you're going to watch that, caution, not safe for work, and definitely keep yourself a Marburger bucket nearby in case you need to spew. But those are this week's headlines. Of course, you could get more at BrainbusterRadio.com, at the Brainbusters on Twitter, Instagram, Junior, Facebook, and MySpace. Tweet it, read it, tout it, shout it, be all about it. Without further ado, Wired, are you ready to make, like David Arquette, bleed everywhere and finish the show off proper 12-like?
I'm going for my carotid. Let's do this.
It's time for Falls Count Anywhere.
Brainiacs, it is I, a man called Wired. And I've told you many, many times, social media is the way of the future. Need more proof? Triple J, you need more proof to get a damn Facebook account? Vinman, get off your chair that you're cheering for Brock Lesnar and sign up for Instagram. And Mustamark, stop angrily typing and use thumbs on your phone when you're on Snapchat. It's so much easier. And Doctor, put the torta down, please. Put the torta down and grab your phone and log into Facebook. Yes, Brainiacs, because the playoffs are set for the Mixed Match Challenge. And not only is Pride, not only is being the best mixed tag team on the line, but yes, number 30 in your respective Royal Rumble is on the line. And where are you going to catch that? Where are you going to watch that? You're not going to watch it on the network. You're not going to watch it on USA, not on Fox, not on Ion Television. No, it is only on Facebook. So get off your horse. And Long Island, I know you got to do that too. Log in somewhere. Get off the damn screen. Facebook.
Brainiacs, just so you know, if you wanted to watch the Mixed Match Challenge on delay, it is on the WWE Network, and you don't have to get a disgusting Facebook account. But that's just some word of advice. But bigger thing to know, besides that huge event, very, very exciting. Wrestle Kingdom 13, Tokyo Dome, January 4th. And it will be live in real time, same week coverage of the biggest event of 2019. It will be Friday, January 4th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 13, a near live 2-hour broadcast on AXS TV. That is right, Kenny Omega versus Tanahashi for the IWGP Heavyweight title, Jericho versus Naito for the Intercontinental title. It'll be on American television, near live, with Kevin Kelly and Don Callis on the call. That is huge news because A, it is not pay-per-view, and 2, it is cable TV, the biggest event in Japan. Maybe one of, if not the biggest event. You could argue bigger than WrestleMania to some, and it's going to also air in its entirety a week later, 2 more hours, Wrestle Kingdom 13 on January 11th. And January 18th, they'll also play it on AXS TV. But they're playing it, and they're giving you great coverage. Kevin Kelly, Don Callis, official team, commentary team now on AXS TV. They did get rid of Jim Ross and Josh Barnett, who did a great job, but more continuity with New Japan, and this is only going to make 2019 bigger and better for New Japan Pro Wrestling All I want to say is I'm thankful for a lot of things this Thanksgiving, but this week, today, with that news, I am very thankful for Mark Cuban and Axis TV bringing Wrestle Kingdom to the United States.
Long Island, it sounds like you're it sounds like you're thankful for delayed television. What is wrong with you?
It's near live.
Were you Triple J? You just turned into Triple J? You watch things live, and if you're not going to watch it live, then what's the damn point of watching the damn wrestling?
Well, I just so you know, I will be watching New Japan in its entirety live on New Japan World.
And you're going to be watching the Mixed Max Challenge live. Don't lie. Don't be
I will, but I don't log into
television
Facebook for that. I watch that on YouTube because I refuse to log into Facebook.
We don't
to watch
promote those types of things. Come on,
Hey,
Long Island.
listen. Some people can't watch things live like I can, Wired. So I don't smite them. I don't make fun of them. I give them other ways to consume. That's what I'm here for. That's what Brainbuster Radio is all about. Just making sure it doesn't matter when, as long as you watch it, preferably live. Preferably live. That's my new nickname. Preferably live, Alan Ice-T. That's what you can call me. And hold on. All right, that was the last time I peed in my pants this episode, Wired. How many times did you pee your pants this episode?
It's been a consistent flow for the last hour. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know if you should.
Kind of like an
pee
IV,
that
actually.
long.
It just drips, just continues dripping.
You might have to get your prostate checked. Anything left before we get out of here?
You know what? No, I think we're good. We covered a lot this week. I'm excited to see what's going to happen on Raw and SmackDown. As always, NXT's off the hook. We didn't even talk too much NXT.
Can you believe we have Keith Lee versus Lars Sullivan on NXT TV next week? It might end up being the match of the year.
And Long Island, I believe this is coming straight from San Jose, California, if I'm not mistaken, where it all kind of started, and we were there. The first ever real NXT takeover back at, what was that, 2015, maybe?
Right before WrestleMania 30. This is a big one. This is going to be a big match. Keith Lee, Lars Sullivan, NXT is going nuts. NXT UK. I mean, you've got Impact Wrestling we didn't even get to. They've got big things going on. Ring of Honor is absurd. You got to check out Villain versus Hero. Oh my goodness, so good. But Brainiacs, we're out of time. We are out of time. I don't want to piss myself anymore. It's too good. We'll be back to talk all that and more next week on Brainbuster Radio. Make sure you subscribe on the Apple Podcast gimmick or wherever you get your podcast gimmicks. Subscribe, review, and check out Brainbuster Radio on YouTube. Brainbuster Radio is everywhere, Brainiacs, for you. Talking pro wrestling worldwide. For Jumpin' Jacob J. For Vinman Unlimited Dates, Moose the Mark, napping from a turkey coma, Dr. Mil Calzones eating turkey tortas, and a man called Wired.
You said you were done. Oh,
now I'm done. For Long Island Ice-T. Hey, I am Long Island Ice-T saying, I got to get the hell out of here and, pee my pants some more.